My name is Zoe Quill, and I am 24 years old. I am Swampy Cree from Sabatoy Cree Nation, and I was born and raised in Winnipeg. I'm working at the National Microbiology Lab as a laboratory technician. Throughout childhood as an Indigenous woman, I was raised by a single mother with 5 siblings. We did grow up in poverty, and so education was kind of the only way we thought it was out of the situation. I don't really know how I came to love the sciences. I just know it was a subject that came easily to me. I took all the sciences I could throughout high school, kind of exploring what physics and chemistry and biology was. And then in university, I settled on genetics. I immediately got into research, and I really loved just how powerful the impact of research can be. I really like the impact it can have on a community, on an individual. I worked at the Children's Hospital Research Institute in Manitoba, and that's where I did a project in type 2 diabetes. Through that project, I learned a lot about what research ethics mean when you collaborate or you work with Indigenous communities, how we can ethically, respectfully, and sustainably help this community in a way that prioritizes their needs. And then sometimes doesn't align with institutional policies, but out of respect for these communities, that is what is ethically required. I hope to always advocate for Indigenous representation and their voices to be heard. I worked for the Northern Remote Isolated Communities Initiative, which is where we send instruments to communities to test for infectious diseases. During the pandemic, we sent instruments that they can test on site for SARS-CoV-2, RSV, or the flu. And really, this improvised self-determination for these communities, because a lot of these communities don't have access to testing services, or there may be some stigma, there are geographical barriers. When I started university, I was the first in my family to attend, so I had to navigate everything on my own. I joined the Nichiwakan Peer Mentorship Program, which is where older Indigenous students mentor first-year Indigenous students. And that's really where I found culture and the support from my community. I took all their advice, I took all their knowledge and their tools, and I have a value of giving back to the community. So if I was mentored, I was going to mentor another individual. And that's what I have done. I mentor several students. My 2 sisters also came to university, my younger and older. I was very active in the Indigenous student community. I received the Indigenous Award of Excellence and the Student Participation Award. I received the BMO Indigenous Leader of Tomorrow Scholarship, and I was so proud of that because it acknowledged all the hardships I had to come through in high school. Going forward, I would like to become a doctor and see its application as a physician. If I could speak to Nellie McClung, first and foremost, I would say thank you. Because I know the women today, and including myself, we are still pushing boundaries and barriers. And she would see that she inspired a whole generation of leaders.